Yeah, it was Mother's Day yesterday, and I thought it was kind of nice that my two younger boys called up Melissa, the mother, and you know, there's something. I was in the bathtub when the second one called, and there was something emotional about having this connection with these. You were there at day one from the beginning. I would say
before day one.
Well, yeah, long before day one, but certainly when I caught all three of them coming out, so I was pretty hands-on. I didn't go through all the birthing things because they were kind of goofy. They're a little bit too soft male for me, but when it came down to it, I was ready for action. But I was there, boys, from the first breath that you took. Not going to get everything right. It was a bit of a shock to me. I had a girlfriend way back, and she got a letter from her father, and it never dawned on me that a father would ever write. And it was like my dad never wrote me a letter, never called me on the phone, never. And you know, I guess in reality I didn't need it, but it was something that I wasn't aware of, even thinking that that was even something that was in the realm of things to do. So, you know, I would say that starting when the boys were growing up, I was more hands off. I mean, I was busy doing a financial gig, which was stressful enough. So I think within this, there's probably an apology about not being the perfect dad and doing everything and showing up at the meets or at the graduation. You'll see that a lot of that stuff is kind of boring. I think you also get a little bit more selfish with your time, because as time goes on and you got less of it, and so in a way you're kind of, I think, you sort of preserve the things that you want to do, but it doesn't mean that there's less love there. It just means that it's a little bit different decision, and it may externally not look your traditional, oh, what a good dad, he shows up and he's at all the baseball meets and all of the swim meets, what a good dad. You know, I don't know, be one of those dads and still be in jail. So I think I have faith and trust that you boys will find your way, and you didn't need to be pampered. You didn't need that, and you'll learn to factor in your decisions in life. And I also think, evolutionary wise, each generation, we hope, will bring the next generation closer to, let's call it, the promised land, of the image of perfection, or a more powerful ideal family unit. So I think it's an evolution, and I'm one step along that continuum, and I've made big strides from the way my father was, but I also had to walk in my father's footsteps to kind of understand who he was, or at least get a kind of an understanding of who he was, and also forgiveness. So ultimately it's just like, it just kind of came, especially when he died. So it was a funny thing when he died. It's like I couldn't blame the father for my problems anymore. So it's an odd thing that death does. It is, I suppose, it's the ultimate letting go, you know. So, but anyway, you don't want to wait till I die before you sort of find that connection and maintain it and understand. I guess that's my father. I asked him one day, and he said, I asked him, why, Sakai. He says, well, you do the best that you can, and nobody's perfect. Those are the two things I remember. And simple, but kind of prophetic and true. So, okay. Staying on the sun theme, you know, all of it is kind of a totality And you may not get the totality, because a lot of that totality's in terms of contributing to my son's psychological well-being started when they were very early, very little, and we would play cars and do packs and different things. And unfortunately, because that's further back in the memory, you don't remember that. It's more of a, I would say that stuff exists more on a cellular level, that you just have this inner sense of yourself and the connection, the love, if you will. It's easier to remember the more current things. Oh, he didn't go to my graduation. But that's kind of more current, more fresh in the mind. But to be holistic, you have to really reflect on the whole reality, which is what was your connection? You know, who was carrying you when your mother was burnt out and walking you so you'd fall asleep? Who came into the bedroom and sang to you with the guitar and held you while you fell asleep? You don't remember those things, but it's cellular. So, which means that you have a core inside of you that I would hope it would be unshakable, although as the life treads upon our lives, it's easy to get shaken up, and there's your survival, if you will, kind of reverts back to that cellular place of, you know what, I was loved, and you can feel that in a deeper cellular level, that you were taken care of, and you did have your needs, the things that you needed, taken care of. You didn't get the stuff, everything that you wanted, but there's a difference between want and need, and even though sometimes something seems like it's a need, it's not. All right, here we are. It's a little town. Everyone's got like a little, even this little town here, man, it's got a little albergue. It's just the weirdest thing. I mean, these places just couldn't exist without the Camino. I mean, it's a huge resource for this country to have established this type of infrastructure, you know. I guess it's like the West Coast Trail, but those tend to be much more rural. This, you're directly involved with the communities that you're walking through, which is kind of cool.
Carry on means bird.